All right. As we wrap up this final couple of weeks of school, today is Spirit Week, as I mentioned earlier, and the theme is cowboy hats. Howdy now. Now, I'm a Dallas Cowboy football fan, of course, but I love football in general. But I call myself the best city country boy, and I love being outdoors, and I love working with my hands and gardening outdoors. And so this summer, as with most summers, that'll pretty much what I'll do most of my time outdoors with the grandson, teaching him how to work, right? We all need to learn how to do basic skills, work with our hands and or do projects that sometimes we can fix ourselves, right? It's important to teach these kids all that you can, particularly in the classroom and or life functions. Again, I've been very blessed. When I was in high school, we had welding, we had wood shop, all of those things, small engine repair, all of those things became very valuable throughout my life, and particularly in my adult life when you purchase a home and you own property. It's nice if you can pay somebody to do all the tasks, but there are a multitude of things that you can and should do yourself if you can, and keep it affordable. How I usually try to pay for that is I try to buy a tool relatively from someplace like Harbor Freight. I try not, because I'm not an actual contractor, buy tools that I can use. If I need to use it once or twice, then I have the tool. That's the payment, right? Because you're gonna have to pay for labor from anybody that's doing work for you. You're paying for their labor, their skill set. And it's important that if you can do certain things, that you do it. And this is what we got to transition our children into understanding as much as possible. No, everybody's not going to be mechanical. We've got different lanes, but if that's their thing, and if they're in class, and the classroom is a long, tedious, boring day, sitting and reading and writing and arithmetic, you remember that song, right? But then if they're more inclined to be hands-on, they need to be guided in those path careers, right? And so a lot of people have strayed away from technical programs, but here they have welding in the high school system. The community college offers welding, auto mechanics, auto repair. Even at the community college, I had a lawnmower. My riding lawnmower broke, right? And all of a sudden I'm riding on it. This was a couple of years back, and it implodes as far as the fan wheel, right? And so I take it apart. I take a class. I'd already had small engine repair, but I take a class over to community college to help refresh and give me more, confidence in doing this, right? So I bought a lot of the little tools, just inexpensive stuff that I needed, ordered the parts, and fixed it, right? Same thing with the washer and dryer. A few years ago, the washer went out, right? It was making this rattling noise, right? If you have that problem. So I go on YouTube. YouTube is a great educational tool. I go on YouTube and I look at a few videos, and I order the parts from Amazon. It's about $30, right? They arrive. I haul the washer out into the garage, turn it upside down, take it apart, put the new parts in, wheel it back in, fire that puppy up, and it's just working. It's been working out for over 3 years. So that was a $300-400 new washer that I fixed for $30, right? So these are the things that we're trying to get students to understand. And here in this state, the I CAN statements, adaptability, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and empathy. These are tools that you need to be functional in the workplace. Again, with the student code of conduct, I say this over and over every day. They come in and say, Mr. Couch, we already did that. Yeah, but every time you come back, you've already gone over the rules and regulations. Why you continue to repeat the same thing when you know what the proper protocol are, right? So those rules and regulations are the same that you will follow throughout life when you get employment, right? Your parents have to be there on time. They have a dress code. They have all of these things. These student code of conduct are not just willy-nilly things that teachers and administration or the school board has come up with just because they got nothing else to do and they want to make your life miserable, right? But as I said in the last video, there's some things happening in districts all over the country for our cell phone usage that's very distractive in the classroom. Teachers trying to teach, they got on the beats. And so that being said, I'm going to conclude. This will probably be the actual last video I do for the end of the year going into summer, because again, next week is testing, and after that, the first week of June or so, it's actually celebrations and ceremonies for graduating in the middle school, the different grade levels. So with that being said, again, I appreciate that you view. I would like if you would, get more involved in your child's life, right? And if you are a parent that's having consistent problems, a referral sent home, that your student is, acting out in class and doing whatever it is they do, right? And then they claim that they didn't do anything. Again, just remember that they've been instructed on what they should and should not do. And skipping, bathroom usage, vaping is a big problem. Cell phones are a big problem. Make sure you know what your child is doing. Back in the day, there was Walter Cronkite, one of the famous newscasters, who say, "Do you know where your child is tonight?" Right? And so we've got to do a better job as parents to make sure we support the schools and administration and teachers. Teachers are really getting frustrated with the amount of discipline that they have to deal with, and it's not fair to the rest of the children or students that want to learn. And if your student doesn't happen to want to learn, unfortunately, what will happen is either they'll drop out and then find out later on that to get to first base, they're going to at least need a GED. And so now they wasted all those years, and they could have done it, and then they go back at 19, 20, 21 years old, got to go to community college and get a GED. And this is something they could have dealt with early on. But again, we all make mistakes. We all figure we know it all at that moment, but that's part of the maturity. So nonetheless, make sure you stay on top of your kids this summer. Make sure they're doing something productive. Keep them out of trouble. And you be blessed, and see you next year.